Yo, what's up, you guys? Today we are ranking how good 2K YouTubers actually are at NBA 2K25. So before we get into the video, I just want to establish my scale. I'm ranking these YouTubers on a scale from 1 to 10. 10 meaning you're a god, and 1 meaning you're terrible. Just for a point of reference, I'm using 9 as the point where you can play competitive Pro-Am. So if you're above a 9, I believe you can compete in competitive Pro-Am. If you're above an 8, if you go into the random rec, you're the best player on the court, 99 times out of 100. If you're at a 5, you're just an average 2K player. If you're around that 5 to 8 range, you're above average but not elite. If you guys enjoy this type of video, hit the like button. Let me know in the comments who you think's too high, who you think's too low, and if you want me to do a part 2 on some YouTubers I missed, let me know which YouTubers you want me to do in the comment section. With that being said, let's get into the video. So we'll start the list off with my buddy Solo. And when it comes to gameplay, just raw gameplay, Solo is one of the best 2K YouTubers out there. I've played with this guy, I've played against this guy probably 10 times by now, and he's just a very good lockdown defender. Sometimes that gets discredited in the Pro-Am community because he's a content creator, very similar to myself. But yeah, this guy's just a very good 2K player. And, you know, he can play guard, he can play center. And because of that versatility, because, you know, he's had a good year in Pro-Am so far, I just think Solo easily deserves a 9.5, and I just don't think there can be an argument against that. Next up on the list, we'll do Double H. Now, I've never played with Double H. I played against him once in 2K24, and I flooded him. But that does not mean Double H is not a good player. Double H is a very good 2K player. Now, this year, Double H, from my knowledge, has played virtually no competitive 2K. Now, that doesn't mean he's not good, but because of that, I cannot give him that very coveted 9 tier. You know what I mean? But because if Double H walks in the random rec, he's still going to be the best player on the court 9 times out of 10. 9 times out of 100. Double H still deserves an 8.8 out of 10. Just because he's not playing competitive doesn't mean he's not good. He's still a very good 2K player, just not in that 9 tier because of who he's playing against. Next up, we'll do Dignify, and Dignify is an interesting one, and Dignify is a lot like another guy I'm going to go further into, but Dignify makes a lot of interesting builds, and a lot of these builds aren't necessarily optimal, to say the least. You know, he makes a lot of player comparison builds, and those are great for the community, but they're not exactly competitive, and this is a competitive list. I played against Dignify once. He left the game in the third quarter after his team was down like 30, but that wasn't entirely his fault. We were playing random rec. I'm going to give Dignify a 6.4. He's not a bad player, and I think if he took the game more seriously, if Dignify wasn't a content creator, I definitely think he could be in that 8 range, maybe even the low 9 range, but because of the unseriousness in his builds, and because of the one time I played against him, I think a 6.4 is fair for now. So next up, we'll do my good buddy Spam. And if you guys don't know who Spam is, he's got 30 to 40,000 subs on YouTube. I'm 3-3 against Spam, but I mean, this guy is one of the best point guards I played against all year. Plays competitive Pro-Am, plays in the biggest leagues and wins them. Ex-2K League player, does content, all of it's Pro-Am. This guy's just... he's probably the best 2K YouTuber out there. I'll say it. I mean, in my opinion, he's at least top 3. I don't think anyone would argue that. But this year, you know, when Joe's having a little bit of a down year, Spam's been winning a lot of tournaments, ex-2K League. I played against this guy, just one of the best point guards I played against. Spam deserves a 9.8, and I think most YouTubers, I think most players would just agree with that. He's just a great player. Next up, we'll do Black Cobra. Now, I've never played with or against Black Cobra. I've seen a lot of his videos because a lot of people have been talking about him, and I've been really interested. And I think the way that he plays is great for the community. You know, the post stuff and the real-life play is great for the community. But as far as competitive gameplay goes, and this is what this tier list is, I just don't think that the way that he plays is optimal. Now, a lot of you, if I have old heads watch this video, you might be like, well, Marauder, you know, what he does is real basketball, and you know what? Maybe it is. But on this list, I think Black Cobra deserves a 4.8. I think that just shooting contested middies and shooting contested layups and just working out of the post on a smaller player isn't optimal at all. And of course, he'll clip the shots where he hits a red or he hits a yellow. But just 9 times out of 10, those shots aren't going in. You know, I've never seen this guy live stream. And you know what? Maybe he's really like that. But until I see, you know, this guy go into the Pro-Am or play someone good at the game, I just can't give him anything other than a 4.8. I truly, from the bottom of my heart, believe this guy is like a below average 2K player. You guys might hate me for that, but that's just my opinion, and you guys can disagree with me in the comment section if you want. Next up, we'll do Chad Benz. Has been doing really good on 1v1 me, and then Chad recently got into Pro-Am and had a great season, to say the least. I don't want to spoil how good he did, because I know him and Solo probably have YouTube videos coming out, but Chad, you know, is up there with Spam as far as skill on 2K25. Chad's around a 9.7, maybe a step below Spam, but Chad is one of the best guards on 2K25, one of the best 2K YouTubers slash streamers on 2K25. Chad's a great player. Go check out Chad if you want to get better at the game. That guy's a great player. Nothing but positive things to say about Chad. Next up, we'll do Joey 2K, and Joey is that guy that I was talking about that's really similar to Dignify. And Joey makes a lot of builds that aren't that serious, but with that being said, Joey's played a little bit of Pro-Am, you know, he's been playing a little bit with Black Market, and I've watched a lot of Joey streams, and the guy just is a good 2K player. You know what I mean? Like, if Joey goes in the rec center, he's going to be the best player on the court 90 times out of 100, you know? So for that reason, I think Joey deserves an 8.1. He's not necessarily a competitive Pro-Am player, but, you know, Joey's much better than the average player, and I think he's a step above average, if that makes sense. He's an above average player. Just a very solid player. I think if Joey took the game a little more seriously, he could get into that 9 range, but, you know, he's got a great thing going with his different builds. And I think an 8.1 is a fair place to put Joey on this list. Next up, we'll do Joe. Joe knows. And I think that Joe is kind of a weird one because we all know Joe dominated Pro-Am for the last 2 years. 2K23 and 2K24, he just dominated Pro-Am. And because of that, this year just doesn't look that good for him because he hasn't been dominating Pro-Am. You know, let's just face it. It's been a little bit of a down year for Joe. And I only, you know, it makes him seem worse than he is because we're just so used to Joe winning all these tournaments, and that stuff is hard. You know what I mean? Like I don't think people realize how good Joe was the last 2 years, but because he's been having a little bit of a down year, I think it's fair to put Joe at a 9.2. If he wasn't so good in 2K23 and 2K24, he would honestly probably be higher on the list. But because there's such high expectations for Joe in the Pro-Am community, I think a 9.2 makes sense. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying with that. But yeah. Next up, we'll do my good friend All City. I probably played about 10 games with All City between this year and last year. And I've watched a lot of All City's streams, and All City's a pretty solid player. Probably not in that 8 to 9 range, but nonetheless, All City knows what he's doing on offense, you know. He's not scared to shoot the ball, which is really important at point guard. Has really high defensive IQ for a point guard. Like, he plays really good lift defense and just help defense. He's actually a really good defender for being a point guard. But he just knows what he's doing. So I think All City is just a 7.0. Has a lot of room for improvement, and All City could very well be around the 8 to 9 range if he really, like, puts a lot of time in the game next year, but he's got a good foundation for a good year next year if he chooses to grind the game. Let's finish this list off with one more person, and we'll do Kosa to wrap it up. So Kosa is very similar to Double H in the fact that he's just very good at the game. You can tell he's good at the game. You can tell he knows what he's doing on offense, on defense. He makes good builds. You can tell he just knows what he's doing. But because he hasn't played the best people, you know, he hasn't really played for money, doesn't play any stage tournaments or Pro-Am, he gets knocked just a little bit. I'm not saying he's not good at the game. He's obviously very good at the game. You can tell that from all of his videos. Just a little bit of lack of credibility just because of the people he's played against. Or I should say their lack thereof. But nonetheless, I think Kosa very easily slides into that 8.7 to 8.8 range. Very good 2K YouTuber when it comes to raw talent. And if he chooses to get into Pro-Am or those stage tournaments in the future, I think he would succeed after a little bit of time. So let me know what you guys thought of the video. Let me know if I should do a part 2. And if I do a part 2, what YouTubers should I do? What YouTubers did I miss? Should I do some of the smaller YouTubers or what big YouTubers did I miss? Let me know in the comments who you agree with, who you disagree with, who you thought was too high, who you thought was too low. And yeah, until the next video, I love you all. And yeah, peace out.